WilloWare's Consulting Toolkit for Microsoft Dynamics GP is a collection of utilities for consultants and power users. This video is going to look at stored queries. A common situation with a live Dynamics GP environment is that the database admin or the GP administrator develops a series of SQL update scripts, and these are either run on a regular basis or as a user requests that a particular update script be executed. And this requires that the admin go and run that script themselves. Our stored queries module allows the administrator to create that query, set it up with parameters that will be entered by the end user, assign a particular update to specific users, and also assign that update to a specific database. When the user goes to their special user interface to execute a stored query, they see only the queries to which they've been assigned. They can't change the text of the query itself. They can only enter the parameters that they're prompted to enter. And they also can't change the database that the query has been assigned to. So the stored queries feature in Consulting Toolkit gives an administrator a very secure way to have end users execute queries without them being able to change it. So it eliminates the concern about the end user making a change to a query that could adversely affect the database. Before we get into how to use stored queries, let's take a look at a real-life example of how stored queries would be used. In this case, we're going to take a look at the GP Manufacturing Materials Requirements Planning window. And what we have here in the bottom of the window are a number of suggested purchase orders. Now, normally what you do with these is you take the ones that you want to release, double-click, select the vendor, and click Transfer to PO. But as you'll notice on this window, there's no way to change this quantity. And you also can't change it back on this window. So the inventory planner might look at this and decide that they want to bump this up for some reason. Maybe they know that there's some additional demand that's coming that MRP isn't aware of. Or maybe they want to bucket some of these suggested purchase orders and place one large PO because they know that there's a quantity price break. There's no way to do that through the user interface, but there is a way to change these values in the database. So it's not uncommon in a live environment that this type of thing would have to be executed by a DPA. However, with stored queries in place, this type of update can be executed by the end user. Let's take a look at how to set up stored queries to execute the update that we were just looking at in the MRP quantities query window. There are a couple of main features to the stored query. One is the query itself. This is simply a SQL update. The update can contain parameters. The parameters are shown here in the curly braces. So we've got parameter 1 and parameter 2. Parameters are defined in the parameters window. You can have an unlimited number of parameters. And as you enter each new parameter, the software automatically creates an ID for it. The ID is put into the script where you want the user entered value to be located. So in this case, the first thing that we're going to enter is a portion of a document number, and then that will be inserted right here where the number 1 is. And then we're also going to enter a new quantity, and the quantity will be inserted into the script right here where the number 2 is. The stored query is assigned to a database, and the user is not able to see or change this database. The query is also assigned to one or more users. Users who haven't been assigned the query can't see the query or execute it. So the end user would be given access to the execute stored query window. The administrator would have the stored query maintenance window. So if I'm the end user, I pop open this window. I can select from the queries that I've been assigned, but I can't select a different query and I can't change the database. So let's go back into the MRP quantities query window. And we have this suggested purchase order right here for 20. And perhaps what we want to do is combine these two purchase orders. Now I could do this manually. I could pop open the suggestion, select a vendor, click transfer to PO. Then after the PO gets created, open up the purchase order and manually change the quantity. But it would be a lot nicer if I could just change this here and then have manufacturing create the purchase order for the quantity that I want in the first place. So I select my MPO quantity query and click execute. The parameters window pops open and you can see it's asking me here for this MPO number and it wants the last 6 digits. And then the new quantity, let's combine these two, so the 170 plus the 20, and we want a new quantity of 190. It runs the script, and when we come back here, this now has a quantity of 190, and we can have manufacturing create the PO in the quantity which we want to use. If you'd like to learn more about this software or any of the other WilloWare products, please visit our website at willowware.com or send us an email at sales@willowware.com.